going. Find where that formula is. We'll see you in a couple of days.
Might bring my grade up to this.
Oh yeah, it will.
It's like 0.2%.
Yeah, but as I grade at the end, that give you probably the B minus because the round was off. And plus the rotations, I think you did a couple of those. Sit there next to you.
All guests are required to go back in. Help! Help!
Oh.
Here we go.
Who has conquered dizzying heights, ocean depths, desert sands, and deepest, darkest jungles? Who has spread from the equator to the poles, transforming the very face of the planet? And what awesome survival techniques have they honed over the last 420 million years? None other than plants, the masters of adaptation. They cracked the code of living on Earth. I'm Anna Gibson, computer wizard. Give me a mouse and a modem, and I'm set. But today, give me a shovel, because digging in dirt is the only way to get to the root of plant life in action. The assignment was plant biodiversity. I thought a piece of cake. Dealing with diversity has been my specialty ever since Jack Snyder was assigned as my lab partner.
Hey, what's up?
After all, bio comes from the Greek word for life, and diversity means different. And it's hard to imagine two people alive more different than Jack and me.
Variety is the spice of life, Mike.
My dad's best friend, Dr. Quentin Fig, computer genius and all-around smart guy, was looking awfully low-tech that day.
Yeah, I can't believe that picture.
Pioneer theories of my latest invention. The amazing adaptive. Just plug in a few variables and voila, evolution in an instant. Unexpected though, but somehow, adaptable just restore biodiversity in a nutshell.
That's unstable.
Probably like a matter of life and death. I decided I'd better find out how and why plants diversify and thrive. First stop, must have tied down in the swamp.
Oh man, that guy's all wet.
Yeah, well, so were the first plants. Artie told us that they developed in the oceans about 420 million years ago.
Whoa! Talk about ancient history. That's way before the days of dinosaurs.
Like green algae, those first plants were pretty simple.
All of their life systems were absorbed right through their cell walls. Some they had to stay in water to survive.
But then something truly incredible happened. Over the course of many generations, plants adapted to life on land where there was more sunlight. Some of them
Mosses, liverworts, barkworts,
continued to be dependent on a nearby water source, but others
birds, whiskbirds, club mosses, and horsetail.
had a biological breakthrough which allowed them to move farther inland. They grew tube-like tissues that could suck up water from a distance.
Tubes don't just collect water. Like the veins in our bodies, they're the plant's nutrient distribution system. Plants that have these special teeth are called vascular. Ones that don't are non-vascular.
The non-vascular digits, like the mosses, came ashore about 390 million years ago. Their vascular cousins, like the birds, showed up around the same time, give or take a couple million years.
Adaptation.
Go, go, go!
Unless you have the amazing adaptator, that is.
No change at all. Most curious.
So, in their first 50 million years, plants colonized the landmasses and developed vascular systems. So far, so good. But there was still a major obstacle to overcome before they could really take off. Reproduction without water. See, back in their seafaring days, the plants' reproductive cells got to each other by floating in the water. Somehow, that didn't work so well once they were trying to survive on dry land. For ages, plants remained tied to wet areas where they could reproduce successfully.
But seeds have changed. We're in the air. Or it was the development of seeds. Their protective coats and stored food that made dry reproduction possible and revolutionized the plant world. The first seed producers were the gymnosperms, which are plants that have neither flowers nor fruit.
The most familiar members of this group are the conifers, otherwise known as pine trees. Gymnosperms were the first plants ever to produce pollen, which relies on wind, not water, for reproduction. Now, even though you can see conifers from the Arctic to the Antarctic, they're actually in a decline. 1,000 years ago, there were a lot more different kinds than there are now. They're probably not going to disappear altogether, but things don't look so good for their rarer gymnosperm relatives.
Yes, scientists are considered living fossils. And during the last 100 million years, peak counts have dropped from 50 species. Why?
Yowza! For 285 million years, gymnosperms were the champions of the plant world. I'm telling you, they seemed untouchable. What happened?
Adaptation, that's what. The end of the age of dinosaurs marks the dawn of an exciting era in plants. At some point, a gymnosperm evolved to produce flowers and fruit, creating a whole new type of plant called an angiosperm. Over the next several million years, the angiosperms would come to dominate the plant world because their system of reproduction is way better.
Yes, play. The flower of angiosperm is like a protective nursery for the seeds. Many of them attract pollinators to fertilize the egg cells. Then, that the resulting seeds grew the fruit. When it's ripe, the fruit may be eaten by an animal that unknowingly transports the seed to its new home. Pollination and seed dispersal. Angiosperms have it all over the gymnosperms.
Today, there are about 250,000 known species of flowering plants. That's 10 times more species than all the other types of plants put together.
Why are there so many?
Adaptation, the ability to change over generations to better fit the circumstances of the environment, has allowed the flowering plants to flourish. What are they adapting to? Just look at the vast variety of climates and landscapes on planet Earth itself. And remember, nature finds a way to choose even the harshest of places. And the conditions are favorable for life. Competition between species is deep. In both, you end up with an amazing array of plants.
Hey! Before we find out how plants are different, shouldn't we know how they're all the same? Matter of fact, I've laid down some rhymes about it. Is it a plant? How can you tell? First thing you check, is it multi-cell? More than one cell is the issue with the plant's warm organs and tissue. And to help that plant stand short or tall, each of its cells has a cell wall. Is it a plant? Well, how can you tell? Most of them have chlorophyll. Like a sun-charged energy tree that powers plants to make food to eat. Finally, best you know it, just like grass, plants keep on growing. Thank you very much.
Careful.
Ah! Rat! I will never adapt.
By the way, when we say plants keep on growing, it doesn't mean they keep getting bigger. Plants grow in a lot of different ways. adding to their root structure, sending out new leaves, making flowers, stuff like that. Here comes an extra credit experiment. Dr. Fig had said that some environments were more hospitable to plant life than others. But which ones? Higher cold, dry, or wet? To find out, Jack and I would do a survey of various habitats to see how climate affected biodiversity. We could do the field work here in the cool, wet, temperate climate of the northeastern United States, but we'd also need the help of our friends. Miguel, who lives near the hot, dry Arizona desert,
And Kelly, who lives in wet and warm subtropical Florida.
Jack was sure that Kelly's subtropical environment would be the best for plants because it seems most like a greenhouse. By that reasoning, Miguel's desert would be the worst, and our temperate zone would fall in the middle. For this experiment, we needed something called a quadrat to make the size of each observational area the same. I constructed a square meter-sized rectangle from PVC pipe and elbows. But Jack insisted on using his little sister's hula hoop. Kelly agreed, and so did Miguel. Keeping good records is key. So I equipped everybody with a pencil and data sheet. I brought a field guide along to help us identify plants. But it's okay to just draw pictures or describe the plants you find. To make sure we were comparing apples to apples, we all worked in similar places. Open areas next to a shrub-sized plant. And then the great hula hoop biodiversity survey began. The more tosses of the hoop, the more accurate the data will be.
But you'd have to do dozens, maybe hundreds of tosses to get truly significant data. What this group is gathering is anecdotal data.
And whatever. Good enough for me. Hey, look what Anna found. Make sure you record that one. Now that's diversity.
After each of the 5 tosses in our 3 environments, I collected and analyzed all the anecdotal data. On average, Miguel's hula hoop from the desert had only 4 different species of plants in it. Our temperate zone groves had a lot more, 8 plus 2. But the queen of diversity was Kelly in the subtropics. Her hoops averaged 13 species per flow. Our conclusion?
And Kelly can count higher than we can.
No, Snyder. The biodiversity is tied to climate, and the most diversity is found in warm climates with a lot of rainfall.
Now, you can do a biodiversity experiment without ever leaving your own climate. Biodiversity is also tied to things like good supply of groundwater, and how much human traffic the area is exposed to. See how many species you find. 3 different kinds of areas.
Considering that plants like warm and wet beds, it's rather amazing that they take to the desert or Arctic at all. But they do. And the adaptations they've developed to survive are wild. The Arctic is so freeze-dried, many scientists call it a cold desert. But mosses and lichens, trees and shrubs all manage to hang on there. Sure, they're smaller compared to their warm climate cousins. Even their roots are short, because it's impossible to burrow down through the permafrost. But these little guys are tough. Over the long haul, their tissues have developed built-in antigens to resist the sub-zero temperature. The summer sun may shine 24/7 sometimes, but the season is short. Plants have had to adjust accordingly. Some run through their entire life cycle in just 1 month.
Speed is one of the angiosperms, or flowering plants, greatest advantages. It gives them a real edge into environments like the Arctic or the desert. After a single storm, the desert is awash with colorful blooms, like sleeping beauties, the seas wide with all year long and parades to around the matter of minutes, they flower and go back to sea.
The desert's a thirsty world, dude. Our plants gotta get every last drop of the wet stuff. Did your dad ever tell you to save for a rainy day? Well, that guy saved for sunny ones, which is to say just about every room. A cactus that's 6 meters tall can store 400 liters of liquid at a time in its stem. And here's a desert fashion. The saguaro has accordion pleats in the sun to expand when they fill up with water. Wouldn't you want to bump into one of those guys, would you? The spines are an adaptation of the just atoms, but this way. Under the friction, a wax-coated skin helps seal the liquids inside, like plastic wrap on the leftovers in your fridge, because way back on water box.
The plants of the warm Amazon rainforest don't have to be black and white, but they don't have to break by a cold. No, climate studies have shown that the conditions here are pretty much paradise for life. In fact, those tropical rainforests cover just 6% of Earth's land mass. They contain 50% of all plant species. It's a jungle. Plants have been used for pollinators. Some grow extravagant blossoms or send out strong aromas to attract animals. And competition for soil, nutrients, and a place for the sun can be used too. The thick canopy of towering trees, shades, forest floors, permanent darkness. The sun will come to them. Certain plants have adapted to the wind. Some orchids have broken all bonds with the soil. Instead, they live high in trees where sunlight is bountiful. They get all their nutrients and water through trailing aerial roots.
Known as epiphytes, these orchids aren't the only airheads, or should I say airfeed. Other epiphytes can be found among the mosses and ferns, as well as the bromeliads, which are relatives of the pineapple.
Mondo Bizarro, my friends.